guys into the bright lights and give them the opportunity, and also make sure that you are able to now leave you a legacy piece, because now we got a profound leader in the industry in broadcasting on board with the sport. And so I can't wait to get into that. That is so much to dive into. But the biggest thing I got to do is first, before I get started, is introduce myself and my sponsors. My name is Eric A. Bradley. For those of you who've never watched this channel, shame on you. This is the Fight Show, and we do it on every Thursday. And what we do is break the fight world down and give it to you round by round. This week, I like to highlight our sponsor, which is Jab Juice Social Media, bringing light onto the combat world like never before, and making sure that they have the voice and people get to know them, and we magnify their names and their brands, and giving them every opportunity to show why they are relevant in today's age of social media and artificial intelligence. So that's what we do. We shine the light. So special shouts out to them for being the sponsors of this broadcast. But when we get back to this thing with Devin Haney and Regis Prograis, this is just they, to say the least, I don't think they really like each other that much. But special shouts out to you all for tuning in and coming on board as we get into these type things. Now, we were going to have one of our co-host who comes on all the time, Shane Mosley, who fought on the zone last week. He's currently at is Disneyland, so he won his fight, so he gets to go play. So he's with his family right now. But at the same time, we want to make sure that we magnify the athletes and keep them in front of you, and because you guys you support them, and I ask you that you step your game up and support them even more moving forward, because these opportunities in boxing don't come around every day. These networks want us to prove ourselves. So if you are really into boxing and you're a really diehard fan, or if you're in the sport, you got to double down and learn to magnify this sport so that it can get its shine and the athletes can get their just due, because it's all about putting asses in seats. Now, this fight, I'm going to break it down because I know a lot of you are into the breakdowns of the boxing game. And when you see these guys match up, as I get into this, and then I will share with you the home that boxing has finally landed, and get into a little bit of what it means to get the kind of relationship that we actually got. And, you know, it's just, as I was watching the Nationals yesterday, there were several different standout athletes. But when you start to see how the professional prize fighting game is, you want to make sure that these young men truly have the right opportunities to get in front of that, those lights, and be able to perform. And there were some kids that had some absolute skills. I'm talking real Sugar Ray level stuff. So I think I'm going to do some posting. I'm gonna post a couple of the names so you guys can look them up. But I know these kids' social media definitely has to be right. But man, I mean, I was really impressed. I'm talking kids that were like 8, 9 years old. The skill set that these kids possess. I saw them being able to maneuver arms and understand placement and range and distance. And we're talking about 9-year-old, 10-year-olds. It was special. It was very special. And as they moved up, you couldn't tell, what age brackets they were, basically because everybody was good. So if you got a boxing program, I'm telling you, you better get those kids right, because when you start to get to those national levels, those kids are super, man. But this Regis Pro Grace fight, and Devin Haney, I just think they've had bad blood basically because once you get to a point in your boxing career that you have kind of relinquished, who you are to the sport. Everybody knows that Devin Haney is a boxer, pure boxer. He got some dog in him because he was tested. Yeah, I got to give him that. He was tested against Lomachenko. He was tested against Linares. Everybody else, he kind of beat him up. But these guys, they tested him. Cambosis, he showed a valiant effort in the first fight. But when you look at Devin Haney, if you're talking about betting on this fight, here's the ordeal. When you got a boxer that got fast hands and power, see, this is where a slick fighter like Devin Haney will have a lot of problems because he's not conventional. The level of skill that Prograis will bring isn't about a whole lot of footwork. It's about knowing how to hit you very hard, very fast, without you understanding where the punch is coming from. There are times, and I think that sometimes slick fighters forget that fighters can figure them out. You can go back to Ika Beabuche, Chris Bird. Ika Beabuche was a savage, and Chris thought what he always thought. He thought, I can make this guy look stupid. I can make him miss. I can make him pay. But Ika Beabuche understood the science. If you go back and look at Ika Beabuche, he actually looks just like Francis Ngannou. The difference is he's a pure boxer, and Francis Ngannou is a MMA artist and a boxer now. But when you match those styles up, I'm gonna tell you something that you better think about. Just because a guy is a puncher, there's a difference in the way certain punchers operate. Because if Regis Prograis really had good footwork, he wouldn't be just a puncher, a knockout artist. Because the way he uses his hands, he throws high and low. Any fighter that can throw hooks high and low with speed and accuracy, and then pillar you with shots straight down the pipe, that's the kind of fighter you got to look out for. He's not the typical power puncher. You're not looking at the old school. What's his name? Not Burt Cooper. Burt Cooper was one, but he fought Muhammad Ali and Larry Holmes, and he was a real heavy duty puncher. And Ernie Shavers, you can see him coming. He's methodical. George Foreman of the 80s, 70s. See, those guys were methodical heavy punchers. This dude ain't that. He's, like Tank Davis. He hitting you with smoke, but it's not conventional. Those punches are coming fast and they're hard to defend. And if you don't know what you're doing on defense, you're going to get clipped. I don't think Devin will handle him like he thinks he's going to handle him, because it's hard to deal with that kind of speed. It's hard to deal with that kind of reflex. And this kid really has good offensive IQs. He just lacked his footwork. But I don't know if you are boxing against a guy like this, that you go in there sleeping thinking, I got this. I'm gonna go in here and bring the smoke to him. What you got here? Yeah, upper out was a problem. Yeah, yeah. Mm-hmm. I see. Absolutely, he was a problem, but it sets us up for what's coming up with these two guys. So I don't know who you think has the upper hand, but what I always do is my skill set is bringing you front and center and kind of laying out the cards, so it's very, very clear to you how to look at these kind of fights. And when you look at these guys bump heads, you have to be really careful if you're putting money down, or if you're picking on any using any betting line. And I say that because it's a different kind of fight. It's not typical style versus style. Prograis already knows, and he's been at that 140 mark. That's where he's always fought. When you come up that weight class, and that guy has really been there, and he's a heavy puncher. It's just like when Charlo went up to and fought Canelo. He was the mover, but he couldn't outbox the puncher. And you got to just be careful when a guy can hit hard and fast, and he's been the bigger guy. It's just not the same thing. So y'all pay attention to these first 6, 7 rounds, because that's where you'll see Devin Haney getting off. But as that fight slows down and that eighth, ninth, 10th starts to land, you'll understand when a fast puncher starts to throw fast without throwing reckless in the late rounds, and he has more power. You're dealing with something different then. Now, Lomachenko can fight. He can box. He's a purist. His footwork is second to none. The difference is Prograis actually knocks guys out, and Lomachenko kind of wears you out. He breaks you down, and then he systematically knocks you out. Get what I'm saying? So there's a little difference. Linares, same thing. He chops you down. He outboxes you. It's just two different types of guys with heavy feet, one guy with heavy punches, but he still has optimal punch speed, and he's built really different. Long torso, short alligator arms, super quick. You can't sleep on a cat like that. So if you ever got a fighter and you're trying to match them up against a boxer, and your fighter has good hand speed, then your focus is to punch him right between that collarbone. Pop, 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 pop. Do not try to go for his head, because once that joker slow down, that's when you can start popping their head. But make them worry about his body. And that's what's going to make that thing, if the tides of that fight, that's when the tide of that fight starts to turn. But you gotta have experiences. And when you got experiences, you understand how to manage that fight, how to dictate that fight, and how to strategize for that fight, the game plan of that fight. The keys is knowing how to do that. And I just don't know if Devin Haney and them have really paid close attention to it, even though he's a purist. He's the purest boxer today, right now. He knows how to fight on the inside if he got to. He knows how to fight in the mid range if he got to. And he knows how to box on the outside of the parameters, and he knows how to utilize the ring. So you can't sleep on that. But this is just a little different. So as we move into that and into, let me know who you think going to win in the comment boxes, and make sure you let me know why. I like reading to see what you guys are talking about. But now we're on to the topic at hand. Boxing has been adopted now, guys. And it didn't take a very long time, because it was a hell of an opportunity. But it's also a hell of an opportunity for you coaches. If you're running these programs and you got fighters, this is the opportunity of a lifetime. There won't be another opportunity so much like this, that you'll get to taste pure, everybody's on the same page, because this is a new thing for you. Let me get my man in here and bring it up. There you go. What's up? You know what? Yeah, man, it's all good. It's all good, brother. How you feeling today? You out here? Where you at? What? Oh, proud dad, proud dad. Congratulations to her for stepping on the gas when it counted most, the championship rounds. That's what's up. That's what's up. Man, wow. How proud are you, dude? Yeah. Oh, sorry to hear that. Yeah. Wow. Wow. That what? Yeah. You've been busy. That's crazy. You've been at it. Yo, you got the squad on blast right now. Well, that's good, man. I can't even imagine what you feeling. I mean, you did a good job, bruh, and was a champ. So, you had your whole you ain't waste no time here on the green planet. Congratulations on that, brother. I was just talking about I was about to just get into I just finished talking about Prograis and Haney and the matchup. But what I was going to ask you, just from your experience and understanding these styles, which I said it's going to be a little bit different because you're not walking in there against a puncher who's like George Foreman in the 70s. This dude's hands is fast. He got the funny bill with the long torso and the alligator arms, or he got them fast hands. I was like, it's gonna be different for Devin in the ninth, 10th, 11th round. You got to deal with that. What is your take on this fight, bro? Yeah. Yeah, dogs.